Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Shadow Wraith, and today we're going to be talking about how my Death Guard did in a competitive environment. Okay, so, the weekend just gone, on Sunday, 15th, I went and took my Death Guard to their first competitive event. I haven't run them before in a tournament, but I thought I'd see how they do. And this is quite a small tournament, a local one. Basically, 3 games, 2,000 points, playing with the new chapter approved missions and things like that. I'll just jump straight in. So, what I brought with me was a Demon Prince of Nurgle with wings and demonic axe and malefic talons. I gave him the Warlord trait Revoltingly Resilient, giving him a 4+, discussing a resilience save against, non-mortal wounds. And the relic was the Separating Plate, which is a 2-up save for him, and every successful save I make, I roll a dice. On a 4-up, the enemy takes a mortal wound. Fantastic. And I stuck Blaze of Putrefaction on him, which I love. I love that psychic power. So, yeah. I brought Mortarion, because it's 2,000 points, Death Guard. Mortarion is a beast. And he was a beast. Absolutely. Won me a few games. Well, 2 of them, I'd say. He's got Blaze of Putrefaction, Gift of Contagion, and Miasma of Pestilence on him. Then I brought Typhus, because Typhus is awesome. He's got Blaze of Putrefaction and Putrescent Vitality. I got a Malignant Plaguecaster with Plague Wind and Curse of the Leper psychic powers. I brought a Tallyman, a Foul Blightspawn, 3 Death Shroud Terminators, 3 Mythic Blight Haulers, a Footed Bloat Drone with a Flesh Mower, and he was, awesome. And then 80 Poxwalkers in squads of 20. So that's given me 9 command points. And then I got an extra relic for 1 command point and stuck it on the Tallyman, which was the Fulgrim's Helm, increasing his aura ability by 3 inches, so from 7 to 10. And that's just basically reroll all failed hits, which is lovely. So that's what I brought. And it's mainly a combination of models I like the look of, models I painted because I wanted to, and a bit of trying hard because it was a tournament. But it was all for charity, so all the proceeds went to charity. So it was quite a nice little tournament to start off in. So, first game, I came across the Eldar Craft World, and it was basically an Eldar bike list with a few of their tanks in it. It also had one of their flyers, not a psychic flyer, thank God, and it had a Seer Council. And we played an objective. I did write it down, I can't find it. Basically, there's 6 objectives, and from turn 2, objectives start disappearing. So objective 1 will disappear, objective 2 will disappear. Or, no, the first objective would stay. Yeah, objective 2 to 5 would disappear. And the deployment wasn't great for me either, because we are on either end of the board, so the furthest distance away from each other possible. And turn 1, all his bikes just shot forward. He used his psychic powers, quickening and things like that, to shoot them up, and he grabbed every single objective turn 1. That's fair enough. I can't move that quick. I've only got 3 things that can fly. Wasn't a good start. And this is the game that I lost. So, yeah, basically, I mean, he didn't really kill that much either. He killed a squad of Poxwalkers, and he did get my Demon Prince in the end, just because I threw him out there to stop him from getting another objective. I had to chuck him out there. He killed what was on it, and then he got shot next turn. That's fine. Okay, Mortarion got targeted turn 1. He got every debuff on him. He rolled really well for his psychic. I didn't roll too well with my denies. And Mortarion got gunned down. That's fine. Okay. Alright. He had Dooms, Jinx, all sorts on him. That was game 1. Not great, but the opponent was great. I still had fun. And yeah, I'm not too bothered. Game 2 was much better for me. I played against a guard list, and they were all tanks. So that was going to be fun. I looked at it, I was like, this is not gonna be easy. But luckily, we were, I think it's Dawn of War deployment, either side of the battlefield, 12 inches on. 6 objectives, grab the objectives. It was as simple as that. You get a point at the end of, at the start of your turn for each objective you hold. And basically, what I did was, I managed to go first. I was the attacker. Well, rolled high enough. I picked to be attacker to get turn 1 because it was a fully shooting army. I didn't want to give them a turn of shooting before I even got to do anything. So, what I did was I kind of risked it, and I went, you know what? I'm going to stick Miasma Pestilence on Mortarion and shoot him up there. And I shot him up there as quickly as I could, rolled really high on his charge, and got a first turn charge into 3 of his tanks. I mean, they weren't like the tanks I wanted to charge. One of them was a Chimera, and then I charged a Wyvern and 1 Leman Russ. I really wanted to get into the Leman Russes. The rest of my army just marched forward. I ran everything to try and sit on the objectives, because that's what Death Guard is good at. They sit on things and they don't die. I killed the tanks, and he spent the next turn trying to gun down Mortarion, who was in his face. And that was the plan, to get something big and scary in his face, focus the fire so everything else had a chance to move up and grab these objectives. Now, when I say his list was tanks, he basically had 2 tank commanders, one with a Punisher, Pask, and one with a Vanquisher, and 2 Leman Russ battle tanks with battle cannons. Then he had 2 Wyverns, 2 Basilisks, and 3 squads of guard, and he had a company commander as his warlord, who died very quickly. Yeah, he might have had a few other bits, I can't quite remember, but it was a very tank-heavy list. Oh yeah, he had some Hellhounds. He had about 3 or 4 Hellhounds. And, I mean, they killed some Poxwalkers, but not enough. Yeah. So, yeah, after shooting Mortarion with -1 to hit, they failed to kill him. He only had, don't get me wrong, he had 5 wounds remaining at the end of his shooting and everything. And he didn't charge any tanks. He had already started moving things back, so quite a few of his tanks were -2 at shooting, which is fine. I was quite happy with that. So, my next turn, Mortarion just charged into more tanks, and he managed to get into a tank commander and his warlord and another Wyvern. So he did that, and my bloat drone charged into 2 other tanks, not expecting to kill him, but it stops a Basilisk and a Leman Russ shooting next turn because he had to withdraw or stay in combat. And then my Demon Prince got in as well and tied up more tanks. And that was the entire plan. And by that point, I had most of the tanks tied up. My Poxwalkers were sat on every objective. Typhus was sat there making them all toughness 4 where he could. Toughness 5 if I needed to. Didn't really need to, though. And yeah, most of my army just sat on the objectives. Whilst Mortarion, my Demon Prince, and my Bloat Drone attacked things in combat. But saying that, my Blight Haulers just absolutely annihilated whatever they shot at. I'd fire 3 melters into one target, 3 crack missiles into another, and they would absolutely demolish whatever they melted because they were hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s for the most part because they were usually hanging about Mortarion or Typhus. Not Typhus, sorry. My Demon Prince at the start. Yeah, they did well. Very well. And by that point, I'd killed all the tanks with Mortarion that he was in combat with, plus his Warlord. Because not Veterans of the Long War, Death to the False Emperor. Thank you for those extra attacks. It was pretty yummy. And he didn't have any shooting the following turn. So it was rinse and repeat pretty much. He had some guardsmen and a couple of hellhounds, but they all started trying to deal with the Poxwalkers. And by that point, I had all the points. I wasn't coming off the objectives, and the game ended, and it was a major victory for me. Go Death Guard. Great opponent, though. He took it in good spirits, And he just liked the aesthetic of it. His guardsmen trying to hold off a tide of Poxwalkers. Good game. Right, game number 3. This one was a little bit harder. Basically, it was Genestealer Cult. They were running as the Rusted Claw. So basically, that is if I have -1 AP or less, they're +1 to their armor save. It's quite nice. They don't really have an armor save anyway. They're all like 5 up. And they can like move and shoot heavy weapons or something like that. Anyway, he didn't have that many. But he had a lot of things. And by a lot, I mean he had a battalion and a brigade detachment. So he had all the CPs. Yeah. It was scary seeing the amount of stuff he had. He had more stuff than me, and I was playing spammy Poxwalkers. I mean, I had Mortarion and that, but still. So, yeah. How that game was. Basically, we both set up in the opposite corners, and then we had 3 objectives going down the centre, so from one corner to the other corner, where you can hold it with troops or anything like that, but heroes or HQ models will take the objective off of troops or vehicles or anything like that. And then if you've got the same amount of heroes, it depends who's got more troops on it, then they take it. And I did pretty similar to what I did in my second game. I shot Mortarion up and I sat him on the centre objective, and I put miasma on him. So he's -1 to hit. Yeah, I gave him Psychopath to give him +1 toughness, and he just sat there. He managed to, because I mean he seized off me, so he did get a unit of the jackals, the bikers, in to the centre, and he did grab all the objectives turn 1. But I chucked Mortarion into them, killed them, got first strike, so that was a point for me anyway. And yeah, the rest of my Poxwalkers moved up. I advanced everything I could. I chucked my bloat drone into another objective, followed up by my Demon Prince, and my Poxwalkers all ran. Okay. And they killed whatever took the second objective. So I basically took the centre and the left side of the board. My plan was to really hold them two, and I was going to plonk my Demon Prince on one objective, and I was going to try and keep Mortarion on the second objective, but I thought he'd die. So I did chuck Typhus up there with him, because he's tough as nails as well. And yeah, he spent his entire turn, so basically he dropped everything in that he could, and everything had like heavy rock cutters and things like that. Spent loads of command points to make them all advance D6 inches. This squad advanced D6 inches towards me, and he rolled a 6, and then he charged me. And yeah, he had 2 big squads with heavy rock cutters in on him, but he did survive with about 6 wounds left. I got quite lucky with my rolls because he's got 4 up invuln, so he's pretty solid, and he's -1 to hit. So yeah, he was all right. And he failed to kill him. Next turn, I killed most things that were in on him because Typhus jumped in. Mortarion did what Mortarion does and wiped a squad easily. And my Poxwalkers got in, which I had buffed to high heaven. They were strength and toughness 5, and they're wounding his guys on 2s, re-rolling to hit. Yeah, so I had that objective. My Blight Haulers took out his heavy armor. So basically a couple of heavy mining lasers in the back. And I did almost lose a unit of Poxwalkers that was on the left objective. But, I mean, I put the Dead Walk again on them. And at the end of my turn again, so it went to his turn where he tried to kill Mortarion again, failed. Only just, he had 1 wound left. And then I fought back with Mortarion and everyone else. I had gotten all my Poxwalkers back from that unit. In the end of that game, I had lost a squad of Poxwalkers nearly. So I still had 2 out of 20 left on the board, and he did manage to kill Typhus and Mortarion, because Mortarion went down right at the end to a shotgun. Oh well, he did alright. But I'd held those 2 objectives quite nicely. Yeah, win for Death Guard. We haven't found out the placings yet, but I will let you know what I got. Anyway, that was how I fared. The person who won the tournament, I know for a fact, he was using 3 Lords of Skulls. And I didn't know this was such a big thing. I mean, I knew people did it, but I didn't realise how powerful it was. Because my friend also attended the tournament, and he ran a heavy tank list guard. And he had, the super heavies, so like the Bane Blades and things like that. And he got tabled turn 2 by Lord of Skull shooting, and 1 got into combat. So that's something to look at. So if you're looking at being competitive, just be aware that that list is floating about, and he won all major victories, even though a lot of them was hold the objectives. He just ended up tabling people and taking the objectives, and he was tabling them at like turn 2, turn 3. It was kind of disgusting. So yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on anything I've said, and I'd love to hear your suggestions on what you think I could improve on, or what you think I did well. There is some work I need to do on my list, I know that, but hey ho, I enjoyed it. It was a fun list to play, and all my opponents agreed I was a fun person to play, because at the end of the day, that's what I want to be. I want to be someone that they can say to themselves, yeah, I'd play with them again. Anyway, thank you ever so much for listening, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.